YouTube, what is going on today? It is Northeast Ohio Sports Cards back for another YouTube video this afternoon, or morning, or evening, whenever you're watching this. First off, I wanted to thank everybody. We blew right through 300 subs. I wanted to do a quick little thank you video for 300, but we blew right through it in between my last video and this video. I did not expect it to go that quickly, so thank all of you for getting us up over 300, or get me up over 300. If you're not already subscribed, please do so below. And as always, don't forget to like and comment on these videos. I'm usually pretty good about answering questions. So, two quick things I want to talk about in this video. The primary focus was just to, once again, say thank you guys for getting me up over 300 subs. We are well on our way. The channel is growing a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. But apparently, you guys enjoy the nonsense coming out of my mouth. So, we'll keep it going. Today, we're going to quickly talk about, I'm going to try to keep this video short. I always say that, and they go 20 minutes. We're going to talk about two particular players, one basketball, one football, and where I think there is some value on a particular couple of their cards. Now, I'm going to preface this on the first one. I might be a little bit late getting you guys this one. I wanted to do this last night. I had a terrible headache, and I did not feel like recording, so I'm doing it this morning, or early this afternoon, and hoping you guys could still get in on this, because the price is trending on this card very quickly. And that is good old Ben Simmons and his optic. One thing's going on here, and that's he's played really well in the scrimmage games, so his prices are naturally trending up. I don't really have a lot of his stuff. I was kind of digging into it, see if there's anything I wanted to pick up, and his prism is already pretty pricey. We'll go down here. So at the chart at the top here, purple is his prism. And this, we are going back about 14 days. This is 2 weeks worth of data that I pulled on this one. I prefer these visuals versus the line charts. So you can see here, this is the prism. It's up 27% over the last 14 days, up to 520. And you can see the BGS 9.5 up 41% over the same spread. And this is about normal, around, a little less than half, a little more than half. BGS 9.5s to 10 really vary depending on the card. But this seems relatively in line. It's not crazy one way or the other. The gap could probably be a little closer, but it's not like the end of the world. We're not sweating that one. So we come up here. So this was priced out already. As we always talk about, Prism leads the charge. So let's go up to the top here. This one's a little weird. And this is the whole purpose of this video, or talking about this card. His BGS 9.5 in Optic, the 16-17, and the PSA 10 are way too close together. So you can see the BGS 9.5s are going for right around 150-ish. And they're up 76% on the over a 2-week period. The PSA 10s are only going for 225. Now, I will say, when I initially fell into this data, they were going for 200 because I bought one yesterday, the 27th of July. I purchased one last night, and 3 or 4 ended at auction around 200 to 210. At the same time, someone else was buying them. There was a couple other buy it nows listed for $199, and they all sold last night. So I'm not the only one that is aware of this. Or it could just be people picking up Ben Simmons because he's popular. There are a bunch of auctions ending tonight, but they're Probstein auctions, so those usually go high. And in fact, one is already at 250 with like 9 hours left on it. There are 2 buy it nows up for 249 with best offer. So you might be able to squeak those in for 200, 225. I don't know. Regardless, I think there's still a little bit of time to jump on this train. If I look at this, Market Movers has a little ratios tool that'll show you the difference between the two. So you can see here the PSA 10 Prism to BGS 9.5 Prism is almost 2 to 1. And then we come down here, this one's 1.55. I think, given that it's the same player, these should be more closer together. And by closer together, I mean this one should be more like 2. This is probably a skosh high, and this is way low. So I think there's a buying opportunity here on these PSA 10 optics. This gap should be much larger, and I think his stuff's going to go up anyway because he's been looking really good in scrimmage games. So that's Ben Simmons. One other Ben Simmons thing to look at. I forgot that I had this on here before we jump over to football. And that's talking about his select stuff. If this has priced you out, his select stuff is still pretty cheap. And the main reason I want to talk about this card is, and we've talked about this before with Jason Tatum specifically, this Premier and Concourse, I really don't think people realize there's a difference. These Premier are a lot harder to pull. I didn't pull pop counts on these, but the pop report on this stuff is much smaller than the Concourse, and they're selling for the same price. So if you're looking for an alternative to the Optic to get in on, I think these Premier for 160s, 170s is a really nice way to go over the Concourse for the same price. These should not be this close together. We talked about this before on Luka too. So if you're just looking for another Ben Simmons option, if this Optic ends up taking off in the next 24 to 48 hours and you miss out on it, take a look at these selects, because I think this is a good deal too, specifically on this Premier. And like I said, I really think his stuff's going to go up a lot compared to a lot of the other quote-unquote rising stars in the NBA. His stuff is very affordable. Like, go look at Tatum, Embiid, Jokic, all those guys. His stuff's way cheaper. And I know that he hasn't done quite as much, and he's had an up-and-down career, but I think the potential is there for him to really go crazy on prices. And the Sixers are expected to make at least a couple-round run in the playoffs, so let's jump over to football really quick. We'll just jump down to these, because there's a lot of them. We're going to talk about Lamar. I mentioned this, and I think last week, or maybe the week before, his week in review video about his PSA 10 pricing going absolutely ballistic. And I ran this data back 2 weeks. This was even post the run-up. But you could see it went from $1,500 2 weeks ago, $1,600 2 weeks ago, to almost $3,000. And I think now they're actually over $3,000. I think there were some sales today that were close to $3,000. All right. So, what do we always say here? Prism leads the charge when it comes to this stuff. So his Prism was way out in front. So we can see that's up 75% on the 2 weeks. And then his PSA 9 followed suit. It went up 72%. Now, I'm not going to say that these numbers are always going to match, but rising tide lifts all boats for the most part. Let's go up here to the Optic, the second most popular. We could see this one, his Optic PSA 10, has shot way up as well. It started at a little over 300, ended about 560, up 80% over the last 2 weeks. Let's look at his PSA 9. It's only up 20% over the same period. If you're looking for Lamar, I think this is a pretty good buy, because I don't think it's caught up yet. So Prism skyrocketed, we can see here. The PSA 9 followed suit, and the Optic followed suit. Remember, this stuff kind of comes in waves. The Prism wave hit first. At the same time, the Prism wave crests and is starting to come ashore. The PSA 9 and the Optic wave starts rolling in as the next wave. Behind that, then you see the lower end stuff. So I don't think his PSA 9 has gone up yet. Let's go up here. His base paper Donruss is up 45%, which I think is fine. This stuff isn't as popular as Optic. For that to be up 45% seems normal. I don't think this is going to go crazy, but I think this could possibly be in the middle of its run-up, which is fine. Maybe we missed the window on this one. But look at the PSA 9. It's only up 1.4%. Now, I'm not a big fan of paper Donruss, but if you're looking for a lower end option, as these are under $100 a piece, and you're into Lamar, this might not be a bad option for you if you're looking for something lower end. But I think these PSA 9 optics have some room to grow based off of what the Prism and his PSA 10 optic has done. That gap to me seems too wide. I think this should be up about another $100, give or take. So there's a little bit of a multiplier effect when you start getting into these higher end numbers. I even think his PSA 9 Prism has some room to keep going up to catch up to this 10 price. This is a little too big, if you ask me. It's usually 3 to 4 times. This is almost 5 times. So either this has to run up more or this needs to come down more to stay within where the relative norms are. But yeah, just a couple things I wanted to touch with you guys real quick. The Ben Simmons stuff and this Lamar stuff. That's all I got for you. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Once again, like, sub, comments, all the YouTube shenanigans. Not sure when the next video will drop yet or what it is, but we will see you guys later in the week for the next one. Peace.